Hello everybody, welcome to race 2 of the evening, round 5 of the 2014 season 2 of the BSR Carrera Cup, here live on BSR TV on YouTube. Back at Lime Rock Park in Lime Rock, Connecticut in the US, after a rather chaotic first race of the evening where we saw Stefan Hug with a rather damaged front end on his rough RT12R C-Spec track car take victory from Ian D. Smythe, whilst troubles for Ashley Sutton in that race also saw him drop down to about 15th or 16th on the grid, 16th in the race eventually. We're now going to, of course, see for race 2, as we normally do, we're going to have our reverse grid. And, of course, we'll go through that grid very quickly once they start to form up. They are currently in the middle of warm-up at the moment, where there are several cars going off left, right and centre. Such is the very tricky nature of the winding surface that is Lime Rock Park. As we did 7 turns, of course we've got the big bend on turn 1, then the left-hander of turn 2, the S's heading onto the no-name straight. Then we head through the uphill, which is the right on the top of the crest, back straight, which is the short little squirt through towards West Bend, which is the right-hander, before they head underneath the bridge, and through diving turn, which is the final corner, before they make their way back onto the main straight. Looking at the warm-up times, and it's Ashley Sutton who has the quickest time in not the number 6 that he was in before, but in fact the number 19. And he's now changed numbers. The reason for that is beyond us at the moment, but he does head back out onto the track after a bit of a quick stop, and he's out there currently setting the pace quicker than anyone by almost 0.6 of a second. It was that, but of course now it's down to about 0.3 of a second because Stanimir Zuzov in the 134 has just gone into second quickest in the times, with Gary Toole in third place in the 36. Tony Sederholm is fourth quickest in the he was at least. Matt Malone has jumped up with an awesome 40.578 in the 007. Of course, if you want to watch that race, watch the race from his point of view, of course you can tune in to his twitch.tv stream, twitch.tv/showdown1983, where you can watch all the races from his point of view. It's a very tricky nature, of course. It's very easy to get these cars into a spin. Of course, rear engine, rear wheel drive, all the weight is on the back. So while it is good for traction, it's not so good for keeping a stable rear end sometimes, especially when you've got so much power to put down through the rear wheels. Some 480 to 500 horsepower on these cars, and they really do have to be wrestled around the circuit like Lime Rock Park in order to truly appreciate what kind of a beast they are. A lot of cars going off, especially the final corner as well. Up over at the uphill, which is when the cars get to the hump just off the end of the no-name straight through the right-hander, and a couple of cars also kicking up lots of dust on the exit of Big Ben, which is the long, almost double apex right-hander that takes you through towards the second corner, which is literally has titled left-hander. Then the S's of turn 3, and then the intriguing no-name straight, which is slightly kind of winding a little bit, but it's so short, and of course they couldn't be bothered to give it a proper name, so I thought we'll just give it no-name straight, and that's how it's stuck ever since this circuit has existed. So no change in the orders in the top 3 at least for the practice times, or the warm-up times I should say. Ashley Sutton still quickest now into the 47s, a 47.994 to continue top of the times. The only man at the moment in the practice, in the warm-up session, not practice, to be running a sub 48 second lap. Stanimir Zuzov in second place, now on a 48.3. Matt Malone is still third on his 48.5. He's now going past the car that's facing backwards on the middle of no-name straight, off to one side. Stefan Hug is up to fourth place, now the number 3 car this time, not the number 6. And he's on a 48.634, just ahead of Richard Wilde in the 70, 48.685. And James Cullen sixth quickest in warm-up, with Gary Toole 7th, Tony Sederholm in 8th place, Daniel Hunt in 9th, Tony McCallum rounding out the top 10 quickest times. There's a few people diving into the pits and one car spearing into the wall. That's the 07 of Daniel Hunt. So, warm-up is now over. We head towards the grid, and this is how they're going to form up for race 2. Nick McCarron is the man on pole position in the number 15 car. He's already out there, ready and waiting to get started. Cyril Thomas will start alongside him in the 888. Row 2, we'll see Tony McCallum in the 30 and Jeroen Kaiser in the 23. Row 3 is going to be Dion Phillips and Matt Malone. with Michael Stephen and Ian D. Smythe in 8th, and then Stefan Hug in 9th, which means we are missing someone from the top 10, because the man in 10th place is actually Jose Almeida. So one of the drivers that finished in the top 10 looks as though he will not be starting this race, which means everyone moves up a place, which means now that Jose Almeida is 10th, Laura Bond up to 11th, with Michael Tada in 12th, and then through the rest of the top 20, Darrell Taylor, Stefan Hefford, Ashley Sutton, Butelier, Plumley, Sederholm, Stevens and Spencer. Waiting for the rest to come up for the start of race 2. For 16 laps ahead of these guys. Revs Rise ready for the second race of the evening at Lime Rock Park.
Green flag.
Lights out, and they are racing here at Lime Rock Park, and a great start from McCarran, as already shooting up through the grid. I think that's your own Kaiser, number 23, through the middle of both Thomas and McCallum to get into second place, and someone's gone off already in the background. Now, I couldn't see quite who it was, possibly. Was it Jose Almeida? It's somebody's gone off, and there's a couple more cars off in the background, so somebody started somewhere around the top 10. Has definitely exited stage left and already gone off at turn 1 as the field make their way through the S's and onto the no-name straight for the first time. And as far as I can see, it is Nick McCarran who still leads as they head up through the uphill section over the hump for the first time they come. Looking now to see exactly who is placed where. Now I can see, of course, that Cyril Thomas is down to 4th place already. Now Tony McCallum is now in 2nd place in the 30, and Jerome Kaiser 3rd. So onto the pit straight for the first time. Someone got a little bit out of shape in the background as they come down the straight. And look at that. Tony McCallum is looking to try and take the lead from McCarran down into turn 1. Just outbrake him into the first corner and into Big Ben and gets it done. So Tony McCallum, I should say, takes the lead from McCarran in 2nd. And Kaiser remains in 3rd from Thomas in 4th. What about just behind them? Well, looking across the line, Michael Stephen in the 305 is 5th. Ian D. Smythe, and the chasing pack still continues to run through. Stefan Hug in the number 3 is chasing Laura Bond, who's had a sensational start to 7th place. Laura Bond running in the top 10 with a huge gaggle of cars just behind her. What an awesome start from the only female driver in the race, and an awesome job she's doing so far. Well done, Laura. Matt Maloney's coming 9th in the 007, and Jose Almeida rounding out the top 10. As for Ashley Sutton, he started back in around 15th place, 16th, so on the 8th row of the grid. There are several cars in the pits after first lap repairs, and they're all already about 2 laps down as they start to rejoin. And Ashley Sutton trying to fight his way up now from what is now 11th place in the field, just on the fringes of the top 10. Back to the front, McCallum leads, and Jerome Kaiser now up to 2nd place. He's got around McCarran to get a step higher on the podium. Cyril Thomas still 4th, but he's coming under increasing pressure from Michael Stephen and Ian D. Smythe in the 06. Stefan Hug has got around Laura Bond for 7th place. But Bond holding her own. In fact, no, she's not. In fact, looking back where she's actually back in the pits. So whether or not that was a technical problem or whether she's been caught up in an incident at some point, poor Laura Bond, who was having such a fantastic start, now finds herself tumbling down towards the rear of the field and possibly a lap down. The leaders head past the start lap 4, and already they're starting to bunch up behind McCarran for 3rd place as Tony McCallum was defending for Jerome Kaiser, but it's all happening behind Nick McCarran, and contact! Now was that Michael Stephen? Now look, see exactly. I think it may have been Cyril. It was Cyril Thomas in the 888. Cyril Thomas goes up and over, and that is one very worse for wear looking rough RT12 track car. The 888 has just gone straight over. I'm not sure if we can get a replay, if my replay controls will allow me to, but that's disastrous for him. He will, I think possibly, he might even park that if he's not too careful. That car's wandering all over the place. That's going to prove a danger to other guys out on track. As now, I'm watching, and Tony McCallum's also suffering as well. Tony McCallum has had some kind of incident because he's dropping down the order, and it means now that Jerome Kaiser now leads the race. So how fortunes can change the space for lap. There's a lap car. Whoa! Oh my goodness, these guys, why are they not losing their mirrors? That was, whoever that was in that lap car, I'm sorry, that was absolutely ridiculous. You cannot rejoin the track without using mirrors like that. Oh my goodness, and Nick McCarran's off the track now. Up at the S's, was there contact when his car's possibly hit the barriers? It's a rather crumpled looking car, and I think also, in the background, someone else in the... I'm trying to work out who that is. I think Daniel Hunt's gone off in the background as well. So what on earth is going on? We're only on lap 5 of 16. We've had so many position changes in the top 10, it's unbelievable. So, Kaiser now breaks away, but look at the gaggle of cars behind. Headed up, I think, by Michael Stephen. With Stefan Hook. There's Ashley Sutton. Yeah, Michael Stephen. Ashley Sutton up to 3rd place. Stefan Hook is now 4th. In fact, no, he's not anymore, because Stefan Hook is now to 3rd place. So Stefan Hook is now into 3rd place. With Ashley Sutton 4th. Matt Malone is just behind, I think, is that Stephen Hefford? No, Stephen Hefford's quite a way back. Apologies for that one. So let's just take stock here and just see exactly where we are. So your own Kaiser leads, but it's Michael Stephen in seconds. Apologies for that. Ashley Sutton loses a little bit across the grass on the exit of the right-hander up at the uphill and back underneath the bridge. What an awesome race so far. This is so much going on. So Michael Stephen for 2nd place, but for how much longer? And also just behind Matt Malone being sized up by Indy Smythe. Here comes Stephen for 2nd place. Ashley Sutton going defensive into turn 1. Forcing him to go around the outside. Oh, Michael Stephen. Ashley Sutton, I should say. Ashley Sutton, what an incredible pass that was around the outside. Absolutely brave as you like, Ashley Sutton. There's a reason why he's racing in Formula 4 this year in the token package, and that is one of them. What an incredible pass around the outside of Big Ben to take 2nd place, and already he is giving your own guys a big hurry up as they come through the uphill. Here comes Ashley Sutton, possibly for the lead of the race, but despite starting in the midfield. And Stefan Hook trying an outside pass as well. And also Matt Malone, this is incredible stuff. Matt Malone trying to make an outside pass. Stefan Hook does pull it off. Stephen almost tags the rear of him. And now again instantly going defensively with Stefan Hook. And your own Kaiser defending more from Ashley Sutton. Sutton up the inside. He's got his nose there, he's halfway alongside. He's alongside him now in front, and he's done it. Ashley Sutton takes the lead, and I think also Indy Smythe through all the battles has now taken 3rd place. So from 5th to 3rd, of course, someone's gone off in the background. It's not Stephen. Well, it's Stefan Hook. Stefan Hook's still going. Now someone's disappeared at the back. It's Matt Malone. So Matt Malone in the 007 rejoining. I think just behind Jose Almeida, and I think no, that was who was that just rejoined? Was that Stefan Hefford? It was Stefan Hefford and Stanimir Zuzov. So that means that after being up in the top 6, Matt Malone down to 12th place after that mistake. Back to the leaders, and Kaiser now having to chase after Sutton. With Stefan Hook chase it in pursuit of Ian D. Smythe for 3rd place and another spot on the podium. Of course, these two went toe to toe for the victory in race 1. Now it looks as though for the moment they'll battle over the final podium spot in race 2, and it's roles reversed, and someone else has gone off. And is that Kaiser? It is Kaiser. Your own Kaiser's gone off at the S's corner. What on earth is going on with these guys today? It's just incredible how they're making so many mistakes. So Ashley Sutton means that he can now continue practically unchallenged at the front of this field as he gets around a lap car. That's the number 4 machine. And that is off, I've scrolled down, that's of Jamie Spencer. So as he heads onto the pit straight, look at the gap he has already now, with a lapped car and several car legs. Back to Ian D. Smythe now in 2nd place. Stefan Hook 3rd. Nick McCarron, who went off earlier on, gets back onto the track and almost gets collected by the leaders. And now your own Kaiser under attack. I think that's possibly from... Yes, that is. That is, in fact, Daniel Hunt back in 23rd place, and the highest car that is a lap down. Shout out, though, to Marcus Maris, who starts at the back of the field, up to 22nd through all the carnage, and still on the lead lap. So a great effort from Marcus to keep out of trouble. As they run once again over the uphill, across the hump and now through West Bend. And Stefan Hook definitely looking racy for 2nd place, because he's definitely not leaving the tail of Ian D. Smythe down the pit straight with a super little exit onto the pit straight. Can he possibly get himself a chance to make a dive up the inside? He's too far back, can't do it. And I think just in front of him there, I think that's the 888. But yes, it is. I think, in fact, he's run wide again. The 888 of Cyril Thomas going around the Big Bend. And I think possibly he has called it quits, and he is back in the pits now in this race. And all back at the front, and I think it's that something's happened at some of the back markers, because Ian D. Smythe has got... Smythe's made a mistake and Stefan Hook's got through, I think. Yes, he has. I didn't see him get sideways, and that's the reason why. So Ian D. Smythe down to 3rd position, and Stefan Hook is into, once again, ahead of Ian D. Smythe, but now this time it's 2nd place rather than the lead. So now, with constant traffic to deal with in this race, you have to figure out exactly where these guys are going to be. Now, back towards the battle which is going to going on for 4th place, and your own cars are getting caught up with both Daniel Hunt and also the number 8 car on Marcus Narris. Now Marcus Narris has now been lapped, but Daniel Hunt is causing your own cars all sorts of problems. Granted, Daniel Hunt is running at a similar pace to the leaders, but he is a lap down and he will have to respect blue flags. And of course, Kaiser cannot afford to relax, but Michael Stephen is giving him so much pressure behind, and he is now trying to get himself into the top 5. Meanwhile, looking back just behind, a great scrap going on between the 181 of Michael Tanner in 6th place, Jose Almeida, who is chasing the 58. He's just been overtaken, I believe. No, he hasn't. Sorry, he's trying to get around the lapped car, and Jose Almeida trying to chase after Tanner with Gary Tall in 8th position just behind, with Stanimir Zuzov in 9th and the 007 of Matt Malone in 10th position to round out your top 10. And as for Ashley Sutton, 3.6 seconds was his advantage the last time he came across the line, and this time, without too many problems with the back markers, looking pretty comfortable indeed so far. As he continues the halfway point of lap 13. Stefan Hug has now pulled away thanks to the mistake from Ian D. Smythe in 2nd place. Oh, there's a lap to come! Oh, that was a heart-stopping moment. Now, was that Stanimir Zuzov? No, it wasn't. It was a similar looking car. But Stefan Hug, his heart must have been in his mouth with that moment. That lapped car came straight back onto the track, was stationary on the inside line, and Stefan Hug had to stand on the anchors to make sure he didn't rear-end him. But thankfully, he's managed to get around the trouble, and he is carrying on. Now, I think that is... Who's that there lapping there? Is that William Pienaar they've possibly gone around? No, it's not. I love that car, that's number 50. Oh, and Stefan Heffers has gone off in the 72. Trying to avoid, I think, when there was at the 55. Or the 56, someone's gone off. I think it might be James A. Cullen in the 56. But there are literally cars going off left, right and centre all over this racetrack. With such a huge field, some 37 cars trying to negotiate 16 laps at the 1.53 mile circuit. It's it's quite a tall order to try and keep this car on the track, and only the best of the best can run 16 laps through all this traffic without any problems. And these guys up at the front showing it. Another car's gone off wide across the grass, getting way out of the way of the leaders. Now Stefan Hug is doing his best to try and close in on Sutton. If you look at the last lap times, 48.2 for Ashley Sutton compared to 48.7, so half a second difference in lap time between Sutton and Hug. In the Smythes rather, 49.3, but that must have had something to do with the immense amount of traffic he has had to deal with. Just looking down the order, the highest placed runner that is the first car to be a lap down is actually 18th place, Nick McCarron in the 15, the man who started the back on pole position, but had so many misfortunes throughout this race. It's rather unbelievable. As Ashley Sutton, meanwhile, is on to his final lap. What's been another intriguing and certainly entertaining, to say the least, race in Lime Rock Park. Of course, we've still got one more race to go, so be sure to stick around for that one. That will start at roughly around 10 past 10 on the broadcast. So do make sure that you tune in for race number 3. But Ashley Sutton, it was literally right here that he went off and made the major mistake that possibly cost him a podium place. But thankfully, despite starting in the back in the midfield and somewhere around 16th place, around row 7 or 8, he's put in an awesome drive to take the lead, stay there, and to get around the traffic and not have any problems whatsoever. Ashley Sutton gets redemption for race 1. He takes race 2 here at Lime Rock Park. Stefan Hug comes home in 2nd place, and Ian D. Smythe once again behind Stefan Hug. And he will finish in 3rd on the podium once again. Your own Kaiser will take 4th. A great solid drive from Michael Tanner, quiet and comfortable for 5th place. Jose Almeida in 6th. Gary Tall 7th. Stanimir Zuzov in 8th. With Michael Stephen in 9th place in the 305. And Matthew Dalton rounding out the top 10. Matt Malone just behind in 11th in the 007. Romain Boutellier 12th. Ellis Stevens comes home in 13th place. Tony McCallum was going to be 14th despite the fact he was up there batting for the lead early on. And Dion Phillips 15th in the 015. With Stefan Hefford, a rather eventful race, having to avoid all sorts of incidents, in 16th place. And then, of course, the first of the lapped cars, Nick McCarron in 17th, with William Pienaar in 18th, Darrell Taylor in 19th, and Marcus Narris, despite the fact that he started at the back of the grid, comes home to round out the top 20 in this second race. A lot to talk about, of course, and but the main talking point, of course, was that great drive from Ashley Sutter, starting in the midfield and fighting his way all the way through to the lead and staying there when it really counted. But fantastic stuff, a lot of racing that was rather exceptional, and some racing which was a little bit questionable. But nonetheless, entertaining, hopefully, that you guys have found this race as entertaining as race 1. But hopefully, that, of course, don't despair. We still have, as we said, one more race to go. The broadcast will go live at around 10 past 10, so be sure to tune in for that. And to be ready for that, be sure to head back onto the main BSR TV YouTube page. Click the link for round 6, and that will be, as I said, starting in just a few minutes, about 15 to 20 minutes' time. But until then, I've been Scott Woodwiss. Thank you very much for watching race 2. Stick around. We'll see you in a few moments' time for race 3.